formidable robot.
I've been browsing for Five Nights at Freddy's fan games on a website called GameJolt. If you don't know what that is, it's a website where, as the name suggests, they have games and other stuff too, arranged by realms, communities and posts. A lot of the games on this website are action, horror, adventure, and of course, fan-based. However, many people seem to tackle the Five Nights at Freddy's related ones. I'm one of those people. This is where I made the greatest mistake of my entire life. Instead of downloading the game I wanted on GameJolt, I thought it was a smart idea to download it from a different website. It was like GameJolt, but odd. And what was the game I wanted to play? Well, there's a specific FNAF fan game that nobody really pays attention to. The game is called Five Nights at Prototype Fredbear's, which is also on GameJolt, and it's like any other FNAF fan game. However, it has a style as if the game was created in 2014 or 2015. It's oddly charming and makes me think of the good days of the series. I hit the download button and started playing. The exe file automatically started downloading. I didn't need to unzip a file or anything, the download automatically gave me the game without me doing anything. I opened it, and it gave me a warning about flashing lights, jump scares and loud noises. I continued, and it took me straight to the menu. The static scared me pretty badly, but this allowed me to see if the game even worked. Now the first thing I noticed is how Prototype Fredbear, the yellow bear, for a split second had his pupils missing. I screenshot it to see what was over his body. I found out that there were cracks on the front portions of his face and torso, and it was clear that it was updated to version 4.0. For some reason, the color on the 4 didn't match the 0 and the letter V. Anyway, I pressed the new game button, and it took me to the newspaper, telling me that Fredbear's had been built and that it was hiring. So far everything seemed to be working, and I also noticed something in the last paragraph of the newspaper, a black bear. Not unusual, as it's probably referring to Shadow Fredbear as mentioned in the character section of the game's description. Well, my night loaded, and I was brought into the office. While I was there, I instantly noticed a bug. You see, the doors weren't properly attached. While that detail didn't matter, it seemed like the developer who created this game tried to fix it but wasn't successful, or that the doors were intentionally made like that. Nonetheless, the game worked fine. I checked the cameras, closed the doors as soon as the main animatronics reached my door, basic stuff. As I was doing these things, I noticed the power going down, so I had to be careful. As I was checking the cameras, I noticed Bonnet sitting on Prototype Fredbear's shoulder. I chuckled a bit, as that was a pretty cute detail, even for a game like this. My joy was cut short when I came back to the camera again and saw Prototype Fredbear looking directly at the camera with his pupils missing, exactly like the menu at the beginning of the game. I did nothing but stare into the bear's eyes. The night then ended, and I went to sleep, turning off the game. What happened in my dream was disturbing. I was giving food to my cat, which was normal at first, but when I checked the windows while washing some dishes, I saw him, Prototype Fredbear, with those cracks and those empty eyes. He was just staring at me. There's no doubt that this was some sort of hallucination or some guy pretending to be a furry by cosplaying as an animatronic. I washed my face in the sink, and he was gone when I looked back. As I went outside, I noticed that the gate was open, swinging back and forth. I immediately ran back in, noticing that my cat was missing. I saw something that would make me cry and vomit in fear. In my room, in front of my desktop, my cat was lying on the ground with a chunk of his body missing and bitten off. I got up and went on my phone to call the police, but there was no connection, even though I swear I remember my phone working properly. Losing hope and staring at my cat's body, I backed up, and I felt it. I turned around to see a giant yellow bear behind me. I noticed my kitchen knife in his hand, and when I tried to grab it from him, he struck me with the knife and slashed a wound on my waist. Luckily I woke up, and due to my curiosity, I had to finish this game. I was playing and playing until I unlocked Custom Night. At first, my main goal was to look for the secret character, Shadow Fredbear. However, it's not anymore, and I won't try 2020 mode. Before I played this game, I watched a gameplay video where B-Mans, a staff member for the game and a good friend of the creator, played this game and completed the mode. He certainly got a sweet ending though. I won't be getting that ending. I set everybody except for prototype Fredbear to 0, and lord if the game wasn't creepier than before. Also, one thing I would like to point out is that this ending isn't present in the real game, you know, the one on the Game Jolt page. Now if I remember correctly, Lolbit, Bonnet, Spring Bonnie, and the other bear, Spring Freddy, were turned on, but in this case they were turned on and started moving. During this, the bathroom camera was turned on. The odd part about this game is the animatronics appearing in places where they shouldn't. While it didn't seem out of the ordinary, it seemed odd. For example, if you played the actual game, you would normally see Spring Bonnie hanging or floating in the parts and service room, right? Instead, prototype Fredbear is seen in his place, and where is Spring Bonnie? Well, he took prototype Fredbear's role, and prototype Fredbear took Spring Bonnie's role. The camera began glitching out, and it showed some pretty questionable stuff, clearly taken from Best Gore. Pretty much is the only detail I will go into without being necessarily graphic. Some of the violent images being shown looked as if they were in the game itself. I checked the bathroom camera, and there was something inside one of the stalls. I found it to be a mutilated body of a person stuffed into the toilet. The body was clearly photoshopped on the toilet, and the bathroom itself was clearly a stock photo. Didn't look anything like the rest of the game. The main game is made with Source Filmmaker, a movie-making software published by Valve. And I mean, yeah, sure, the other cameras still looked like the same style that the creator made them in, but the animatronic poses were replaced with a different character and were clearly slapped on top of the original animatronics in Photoshop. The audio in the background was devouring the original ambience, which is taken directly from Five Nights at Wario's 3. And the audio was of branches and leaves being crushed and sounds of grass being stepped on, the sound getting closer and closer. The audio cut off, and the original ambience returned. I wanted the night to end, so I waited for the animatronics to attack me. For some reason, the AI got pretty broken, and the animatronics simply refused to attack. All they were doing was staring at the cameras, taunting me. I flipped down the camera, and I finally encountered Shadow Fredbear, the secret antagonist. Shadow Fredbear sat next to the door in the pose of Golden Freddy and killed me. However, there was an extended version of the scream audio this time. Seemed to get louder and louder as it got on, and I noticed that there were sounds of footsteps. Sounded like they were right behind me, but when I turned around, there was nothing there. It didn't only take me to the game over screen though. Instead, it also played 2 clips related to the main antagonist of the game. The first one was a yellowish grizzly bear. The clip was playing over and over. A bear was getting his head cut off repeatedly. The next clip was also a yellowish bear getting ground up, and it ended with a screenshot that never appeared in the game. It was a photo of prototype Fredbear, Lolbit, Bonnet, and Spring Bonnie staring into the camera. Prototype Fredbear and Spring Bonnie both had no pupils, and Lolbit's pupils were missing. However, Bonnet seemed normal. The screen then immediately cut back to the main menu, and it froze and crashed. After I turned off this game, I was processing and trying to figure out what had happened. After the creator Joseph made the game, somebody downloaded the regular game, broke into the MFA file, and started editing the source code, mixing up the AI, and finding videos from Best Gore, which actually might have been taken from other gore sites too, all to sneak into the game. Maybe there's a chance that the hacker is responsible for the murders. The person might have taken photos of the murders and snuck them into the game. But for now, I uninstalled it, and thankfully the nightmares haven't occurred since.